I paid equivalent of $7.09 a gallon on this trip, which is just ridiculously insane. If this is what it costs to drive an electric car all the time, I wouldn't drive one, and nobody else would be driving one either. Good morning from Jonesboro, Arkansas, July 1st, 2024, 9:33 a.m. Finally, there is a month where it would have been cheaper to drive most gas cars than my electric car, my Niro. Look at this. It would have been $50 cheaper to drive the cheap Cherokee we sold about a month ago. It would have been $105 cheaper to drive the 2021 Kia Niro Hybrid rather than the Niro EV. But of course, look at this, 14.1 cents a mile instead of the usual 1.2, 1.7, 1.5. But of course, this is an outlier. Why? This is also an outlier, 1,316 miles. I took a trip to Katy, Texas, about 1,200 miles. Which, yes, I only drove by a little over 100 miles if you don't count the trip. As a matter of fact, before I went on the trip on the 20th, I think I had barely 100 miles on the odometer. When I got back on the 28th, I haven't driven it at all. So anyway, 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which is also way lower because going 80 miles an hour a lot of times, sometimes 82, very little. Burned a whole lot of kilowatt hours, only 94 from home. I got 49 free from my aunt and uncle's house where I stayed. Once I got there on the 20th, I did not start the car, did not move it for an entire week. Got there on Thursday, didn't move the car until the next Friday. But anyway, 233 kilowatt hours from public chargers, and boy, they were expensive. 7.7 cents a kilowatt hour from home. This may change. I have not got my bill yet. I'm not waiting for the bill to come in to do this. This may change to more like 8 cents, 7.9, 8.1. Look at this number right here. I'm fixing to change to 8 cents. See, maybe 30-cent difference. So not worth waiting for the bill to come in. But if you look at this next month, this number might be changed because I will correct it when the bill comes in to exactly the right amount. Right here, 179 biggins from public chargers. I paid as much. I think 88 cents was the most I paid. I think. Let me see here. On the trip, 88 cents. Yes, right here. You know, and they'd advertise a different price. They might advertise like 84, but then I included the taxes. This is the total out the door tax price. We'll get back to this page in a minute. So there we go. 14 cents a mile. I could have driven my friend Manor's 4x4 Ford truck this 1,316 miles and at $2.90 a gallon, which was the average last month. It would have only been $6 more. Yeah, for $7 more, I'd rather drive his truck. I wonder if he would have traded with me for the month. No. Yeah, right. But anyway, yeah, it would have cost, about the same price. That's something, huh? Traveling in a non-Tesla is so expensive. I got a video out there I released yesterday or the day before talking about how a Tesla would have been about $50 cheaper than this. This is more expensive than gas, but a Tesla would have been cheaper than gas. But anyway, let's look at what my wife drove. Finally, I drove more than she did in a month. Her driving to work and back, 1,279 miles. Again, I beat her, 1,316. 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. You can look at the stats here. $26 it cost to charge at home. 2 cents a mile. 1/7 what it cost me. I think, wasn't it 14? Yes, 1/7. And she would have saved money. Look at all these savings here. Over Manor's truck, if he would have traded with her for the month, it would have cost us $161 more. Let's look at the combined stats. Almost 2,600 miles this month. 3.6 is our average, way down from normal, except for in the winter. You know, I just realized the winter was about like driving 80 miles an hour in summer. Electric cars use a whole lot more energy in winter because the heaters are so energy inefficient in these two cars anyway. Not so much the air conditioner, but the heater really drains the battery. Anyway, so many kilowatt. You can pause this if you want. No need going over all of it. $33 home, $179 again. Public, 8.2 cents a mile total. It would have been $168 more expensive to drive Manor's truck, $55 more expensive to drive the Cherokee we just sold, and we would have saved $51 if we had both been driving energy efficient hybrids. Not plug-in hybrids, just hybrids. We would have saved $50 this month. But still for the year, over the truck, we're saving this, $1,300, Cherokee, $800, hybrid, $323. Since we got both cars last November, there we go. Jeep, truck. Even counting this expensive month. Even counting this very expensive month, 3.5 cents a mile, that is pretty darn cheap for the year. Here's my mileage log. I've taken almost 1,700 miles in total trips. I'm not counting the trip coming home from Franklin, Tennessee. That was like 250 miles. I'm not counting that. I'm counting a trip where we left and came back from home. We've taken 2 trips in it so far. Illinois, which is actually St. Louis, 504 miles, and Katy, Texas. So, anyway, there's Pam's work vehicle. If for some reason you want to pause and look at this, here's her mileage log. Price parity, look at this. I paid 88 cents a gallon, 3.4, I think I got 3.5. Let's change it to 3.5. I think that's what I got for the trip. Miles per kilowatt hour, 25 cents a mile. Compared to the Cherokee, 10 cents a mile rounded off. I paid equivalent of $7.09 a gallon on this trip, which is just ridiculously insane. If this is what it costs to drive an electric car all the time, I wouldn't drive one, and nobody else would be driving one either. Except for the really die-hard people who are doing it for one reason, to save the earth. According to them. And let's take Man North's truck. I still pay the equivalent of $4.98 a gallon. It would cost him the same if he drove $4.98 a gallon on this trip for his truck. Good Lord. Been 42 days since we bought gasoline. 150 since I pumped gasoline. Okay, and now because of this trip, I'm down to 73% of my charging at home. This was in the high 80s, I think. And Pam, 96. This is going to creep up so slowly because it's so hard to get from 96 to 97 when I deal with these kind of numbers, because it's very difficult to have enough from home to eat away at this number to raise it even 1%. It's going to take a little bit, but overall, 86% of our charging is done at home, where it's cheap. And here's the fast charging chart. Every fast charger I've done in this car. And I got it color coded. But let's look right here. This is the trip we just took. If you want to pause the screen and look at this, and that is what it cost on this trip. Franklin's charging in Little Rock was very reasonable. That's an excellent price for public charging. But the boat, only twice since we've had it. So, look at this. Miles on battery when purchased. This battery only had 6 miles on it when we purchased it, because GM replaced the batteries in all their cars because they were getting such negative news, even though there's certainly probably nothing wrong with the old battery. They just did it out of an abundance of caution. So there you go. If you travel a lot and you don't have a Tesla, it may cost you more to drive an electric car than a 4x4 truck or close to it. Of course, it could have been just the route that I took. Hopefully, when Tesla opens up their network to all cars, hopefully they won't charge us too much of a premium, or competition will force these prices down. That's also what I'm hoping for. I mean, look at this. I pay 7.7 cents a kilowatt hour. Look what I paid on the road. There's very little competition. Very little on this route. Hopefully competition will crash it, or at least get it down to a reasonable number. Get it down to somewhere like this right here. Maybe even 45 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching. And no traveling expected this month. You never know, though. So, it should be cheaper next month in July. All right, you have a good day.